questions. We have lots of time. Let's do it. However, and for anyone, I know there's all these live streaming people all over the world. If you want to have a question, call me. 240-252-8078. And it will ring, and I will take your question in between questions here. 240-252-8078. Question, yes?
Yeah, can you explain to me how Romain, for example, I got into this debate with a doctor that Romain was a complete protein because, of course, he asked me, where do I get my protein?
Okay.
And I told him it was a complete protein, and he didn't believe it, so I looked it up on my phone and said it was 17% protein, and it was a complete protein. And he said it's impossible because it's 98% water. And that's true as well, and I didn't understand it.
Oh, that's a great question. If you didn't hear the question, I'll repeat it just for folks if you didn't hear it. If you look at, so folks within the kind of plant-based movement love talking about how broccoli has more protein than steak. And by percentage of calories, which is really all that matters, that's how your body digests. It keeps count, not by weight, not by volume, keeps count by calories. So that's kind of the monetary, that's how food comes in according to the body. So that's legitimate too. But what they don't realize, so per calorie, more protein, right? But the problem is, or the benefit is, plants are so calorically dilute, have so few calories, to actually, yes, by percentage, they're packed with, if you think of broccoli or romaine lettuce, what, is it fat? There's no fat in there. Is it starch? No, it's protein. That's what the thing's made out of, right? But there's so few calories. Even if 100% of the calories were protein, you'd have to eat like a wheelbarrow of romaine every day. Now, I'm all in favor of big salads. I am, the big mixing bowls, that's my salad bowl. Absolutely. Big salad every day. So you're kind of both right. Yes. But they're high in protein. But what's behind that question is this concern about getting enough protein. And if you don't know how to get protein on a plant-based diet, you don't know beans. Beans, peas, legumes, right? These are lentils. These are the plant protein superstars. I encourage people to eat legumes every day. And you get all the protein. You don't have to worry about, am I getting enough protein? So it's not a concern. Unless one eats lots of empty calorie junk foods, right? You live off cotton candy, right? You can get enough calories to actually sustain life, but you're not going to get any protein, you're not going to get anything, right? So, and look, cotton candy, that's a vegan, right? So, you can eat a vegan diet and not get enough protein by eating cotton candy. Right? So I encourage people not to eat empty calorie junk foods, and eat a variety of foods. But legumes. I'd love to see people eat lots of legumes.
I know. But the thing is, they all thought, I must have beans every day and soy, and I don't.
Okay.
So I know there's not a worry for a shortage of protein, but I just didn't understand numerically, how could it be 98% water and 17% protein?
Oh, so it's by, so, right, absolutely. So by weight, but see, the water disappears. When you eat like romaine lettuce, your body, if it doesn't have enough water, just absorb it. In fact, there's this concept, don't drink while you're eating. Don't drink water while you're eating, because it dilutes, whatever. No, you think your body's that stupid? No, your body, if there's too much water in your stomach for proper digestion, for all the enzymes and stuff, it just sucks it right out. It goes right through the stomach wall into your bloodstream, right? And if you eat without drinking water, your body floods water into your stomach to get just the right, it's called osmolarity, just the right amount of liquid for proper digestion. Body's way too smart to be, anyway. So when you eat, when you eat a whole bunch of romaine lettuce, and it's 98% water, it doesn't even kind of count. Your body's just like, water, yoink. And then what's left is there's actually very little food. But that's good in the United States of America, where we have an epidemic of obesity, where it would be great to fill up your stomach and be like, I'm full, and have no calories in there. It's like water, fiber, So the calorie dilute nature of plant foods is actually a benefit, with one exception, and that's little kids. Little kids got really little tummies. And when you have really little tummies, if you just gave them big salads, they literally might become calorie nut. They just might not be able to eat enough food. So in that case, they need to eat calorically dense foods. So like, nuts and dried fruits and smoothies and all sorts of, and beans and whole grains have enough calories to pack in. But for adults, the fact that a huge salad is basically no calories unless you're putting bacon ranch on top is actually a good thing on a population scale. Yes?
Thank you for your talk, and also thank you for all the work you've done. Facts.org, you've converted me into a vegan. So
great.
Hey. I actually, it's been a couple of months now, and I have questions just in terms of balance. Obviously high nutrient density is important, but also macronutrients are important as well. So, like some vegans I've seen kind of emphasize fats, right? Like avocados and nuts and even coconut, and I see people using coconut oil as well. Can you speak a little bit about kind of macronutrient balance?
No, sure, right. No, so there's the 80-10-10 folks. There's like, people ask me, what's the percentage of protein? As if like we evolved for millions of years with like internal calculate. No, like we never, you think other animals think about this? Like, no, again, our body's way too smart. The important thing is not macronutrient percentage, is where you're getting that from, right? Is protein good or bad? Well, protein is kidney beans or pork, right? You say, are carbs good and bad? Carbs can be a sweet potato or cotton candy, right? What's fat? It could be trans fat, it could be lard, or it could be walnuts, one of the healthiest foods, right? So it's meaningless to say how much protein you're getting or how much carbohydrate. It's what's the source. And the most important, is it whole or not? Is it a whole food source? You're getting a whole food source of fat, flax seeds, walnuts, great, right? Getting a whole food source of carbohydrates, right? Sweet potatoes, whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, wonderful. Whole grain source of protein, getting your legumes. I mean, that's what you should be thinking. Am I eating a whole food, right? Or did the industry take out nutrients from is it food as grown? Or was there some middle person that took out a whole bunch of stuff, added a whole bunch of crap in to to make the price point such that they can make a big profit margin? Whole versus processed is probably your best bet.
Thank you.
Hi, I was wondering if you could tell us what the benefits of being vegan are with infectious diseases like Lyme.
Oh, interesting. There is no data on diet and Lyme disease, either chronic or acute. So there's just simply, so people can speculate. I'm not one for speculating. There's no data. When there's data, I know that is an issue. That's important to people. And so it's something, it's in my PubMed alerts. And if anybody's interested in this, there's something called your taxpayer dollars go to help fund the National Library of Medicine, which is the largest medical library in the world, biking distance from my house. And that's the reason I live there. And they have a service where you sign up. So you go to pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, and you search. So what you want to do is you want to search for Lyme, spelled with a Y, because you don't want citrus articles. Lyme and diet. You put Lyme diet, right? You press the search button, and then there's a button that says Save Search. You click on Save Search, and it offers to, for free, email you anytime, anywhere in the world, an article is published on Lyme and diet. Because you'll see nothing comes up from your search. Because there's no, but that doesn't mean tomorrow there's not going to be an article. So I have it. So I have Lyme and diet so I will get an email anytime, and I'll make a video about it, but it might take me a few weeks to get that video up, whereas you'll know that morning. And you can have them email you any time of the day. You can even put it in, I want 7 o'clock, right? You really like avocados? You can get emailed anytime an avocado article is published anywhere in the world. It's the coolest thing. And so, of course, I have hundreds of terms. But for whatever you're interested in. And look, let's say an article comes through and you can't make heads or tail of it because it's written in techno-speak, right? Or it's written in another language. Or there's a paywall where you can't actually get access to the article. Then email me. Email me. I'll get you the article. I can get any article because I'm near NLM. And I can try to interpret for you. And it'd actually be doing me a favor. Maybe somehow I missed it. People email me all the time, and there are articles that I must have. I only started my annual reviews, the volume 1, in 2007. So pre-2007 literature, there's new stuff all the time I've never even heard of, just because I wasn't looking at the literature at the time. So PubMed.gov, PUBMED.gov, your taxpayer dollars, hard at work. You should get your money's worth. And so you're signing up for what are called PubMed alerts. And I've got about 6,000 of them sitting in my inbox.
Thank you. Has anybody told you you talk fast?
I do, and I apologize, but I wanted time for this right here, Q&A.
I want to thank you for that. And my name is John Eagle, and I want to get back to the basics. Ann Wigmore and Dr. George Earp Thomas co-authored a book called Organic Soil. Organic soil is the health of life. Now, Finland did a study. They outlawed chemical fertilizers. The disease rate was equal to the United States. When they outlawed chemical fertilizers, the disease rate dropped to 1/10 of what the United States was. I think we need to get back to the basics and understand where life comes from. Organic sulfur is another word for life. And people should evaluate, or maybe you can elaborate a little bit on organic sulfur.
In terms of, I think this gets to something that's raised often, this sense of crop nutrient decline. That fruits and vegetables ain't what they used to be. Here I go talking about fruits and vegetables. But it really, we're not this is not your grandparents' fruits and vegetables. Our soils are depleted. And so we're just not getting the nutrients that we used to. And so I was curious. And that's often used by supplement manufacturers. Who are, want to sell you their fancy, mineral supplements, saying, even if you eat healthy, you're not going to get what you need, so here, buy my pills. Okay, so I was interested in evaluating that claim. And so there's a video on the website called Crop Nutrient Decline. You can actually see the graphs and stuff. But crop nutrient decline, the video, if you put in the word crop in the search box up there, it'll pop right up. And what they found is, it's true, it's kind of true and false. The true part, there has been a nutrient decline by about 15%. So if you look at some of the major, vitamins, minerals, 15%. So that means today you have to eat, 6 florets of broccoli to get the same nutrition you got out of 5 florets of broccoli, 50 years ago. Eat 6 florets of broccoli. I mean, no reason you have to take a pill. I mean, so yes, there was, but it didn't have this oh my God, our soils are barren, fruits and vegetables are nothing but water. No, I mean, for a broccoli to grow, it has to have a certain bare minimum, or it just can't make the little broccoli, it can't make stems, it can't make leaves. There's a certain bare minimum. Now, should we buy organic? Absolutely, for a wide variety of reasons. But one should never let either concerns about pesticides or concerns about lack of nutrition to dissuade us from stuffing our faces with as many fruits and vegetables as possible. In fact, there's actually there's a wonderful, there's a study, it's actually funded by the petrochemical industry. Let me just say that but I mean, it looked like a good work. This modeling work, this was in Food and Chemical Toxicology last year, that did this kind of complicated modeling to suggest that if half of Americans ate a single serving more of fruits and vegetables, conventional fruits and vegetables, we would prevent 20,000 cancer deaths every year. 20,000 people that died of cancer would not have died of cancer if just half of Americans ate one more serving of fruits and vegetables. That's how powerful plants are. Okay, but they did say, okay, because these were pesticide-laden conventional produce, that eating that many pesticides would cause 10 cancer deaths. So overall, we would prevent 19,990 cancer deaths, right? But that just shows the difference. So by eating fruits and vegetables, you get this tremendous benefit. Okay, yeah, but we get a little risk. Eating conventional fruits and vegetables, a little cancer risk, a little bump in cancer risk, right? But, so look, why have any risk at all? Choose organic, right? And get all benefit, no risk. But, again, because there's such a big difference, again, never, even the most pesticide-laden produce, the Chilean imported grapes and bell peppers and spinach, and strawberries, right? Even the worst of the worst, it's still dramatically more, on average for our health by almost 10,000, right? Or 1,000 times more benefit than risk. But hey, if they have the organic strawberries right next door, why not get those? Where am I? Yes, over here.
Hi. Can a vegan diet reverse osteoporosis in a person who already does weight-bearing exercise?
Can a vegan diet birth us? Can you
reverse to stop the
stop the progression
of osteoporosis or reverse it?
So weight-bearing exercise, right? So you really nailed it. So weight-bearing, the way to stop the progression of bone loss and strengthen bones is a weight-bearing exercise. Just like your muscles, when you don't use them, they waste away. You put your arm in a cast. A couple weeks later, you have no muscle mass because your body says, why am I continuing to keep your muscles up if you're not even using them? Same thing with your bones. Why would your body keep your skeleton going if you're not putting any weight on it? We think of bones as just like inanimate structure, but that's because they're taken out of the body. If any surgeon will tell you, bone is living, bleeding, tissue, constantly remodeling. And why put any effort into it all if you're, lying on the couch all day? And so we need to jar our bones an hour a day, minimum, 7 days a week. That's the most important thing before I put anybody on Fosamax and these bisphosphonates, these other drugs. That's the most important thing we can do. Can we support healthy bone growth and maintenance with a healthy diet? Absolutely, with potassium and vitamin K and boron and all these other wonderful things. So I encourage people to eat 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds every day and all sorts of other things that I talk about in all my bone videos. But the most important thing, use it or lose it. And that says 5 minutes.
Hi,
you can just go like this. Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Shank, and I just have a comment. This is my first conference I've ever been to.
Oh.
And
okay.
I kind of chose this lifestyle 2 years ago at Genesis Anti-Aging and Healing Center. And Brenda Lee spent a lot of time at Hippocrates and among other places to kind of learn this lifestyle. But I went through this huge dip in my weight for years. 20, 30 years. And I had trainers and nutritionists, but I'd lose the weight and always gain it back.
Sure.
And within 6 months, I lost 68 pounds, over
great.
6 inches off my waist. And today's my 59th birthday. But with that said, everything that you said here is so true. No more high blood pressure medicine within 5 months. No more anti-inflammatories. I had this weird, it would go from my knees to my hip to my ankles, and the doctors kept saying, well, we think you have gout. To the point where they drew out the fluid to look at the crystals. There's no crystals. I didn't have gout. I think it was dairy. It's hard to say what it was, because when I went vegan, I went to Genesis. I spent months there, 5 months, but I lost all that weight and came off all those medications, from high blood pressure, cholesterol, the anti-inflammatories, Nexium, so the reflex is gone.
Oh, fantastic.
And I've never gained the weight back.
That's
I've stayed within 5 pounds of being around 200, 205 pounds with moderate exercise. And that was the amazing thing to me. I had a personal trainer 6 days a week, and I was like I was crying. Yeah, my skin became people didn't recognize me. I would get on airplanes and walk by a friend of mine and like, hey, and they're like, John. And people do not recognize me, including my mom even said I had more hair, which I don't actually believe. I can't attribute my health to this, but I think what you're saying, if people listen and live a lifestyle like that and do it faithfully, you won't gain the weight back. My blood tests have never been better. I mean, I've been going to Mayo Clinic every year for a physical. I am an executive of a company, in my own company, and I have to go for a physical every year. I've been taking the same blood test since 1992. My doctor called me in. I'm like, great. After all this, he's going to tell me something's wrong. Because I just want to see this for myself. How'd you do this? I want to know how I get my other patients to do this. Your blood tests have never been better. To the point where I got I had to go and get a very large insurance policy, which at 59 years old is very hard to do. It's $5 million. Whole life. I got a premier select rate because of my blood test. And the agent said they've never seen anything like it. So I just want to thank you.
Right. And your extraordinary health is really normal health. Like the human body shouldn't just fall apart, right?
Right.
We have this sense that it's just kind of, these are inevitable, diseases of aging. Your ticker just kind of conks out. No, that's not how we were built, and that's what these studies show.
I was a bicycle racer for 17, I raced 17 years ago. I went back to bicycle racing last year. I rode 2,000 miles on my bicycle, and I trained moderately. I'm telling you, I didn't train as hard as I used to with a trainer, and I'd gain and lose the weight. As soon as I get done with the training, I'd gain all the weight back, and it's all about what you put in.
And your body wanted to be this healthy all along.
Oh, I feel
right?
great.
I mean, it's just, you just had to get out of its way. I mean, you just had to stop kind of why. It's like, something that really struck me in medical school was learning that within 8 years of stopping smoking, your lifetime lung cancer risk approaches that of a lifelong non-smoker. Within 8 years, your body can clear out all that tar and crap. So if you didn't get lung cancer already, and then it's almost as if you didn't smoke at all, right? I mean, that's remarkable. And so what that tells you is that every day your body wanted to have healthy lungs and trying, but then you keep hitting it over and over and over again. And then as soon as you stop, finally, it's been, and same thing, you whack your shin on the coffee table, it hurts, it gets better. But if you whack your shin 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, it'll never heal. You go to your doctor, and your doctor says, no problem, your shin hurts, I've got painkillers. Take these pills. Right? Instead of saying, maybe you should stop whacking yourself 3 times a day and let your body just take care of itself.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.